Hi everyone, it's Lorelai with a new series on making a game with rpgmaker with, the new rpgmaker title for the Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 4 and 5. In this tutorial series, I'll take you through the process of making a simple game from start to finish. You can then use what you've learned here to create and share your own stories for your friends to play. With offers a fun twist to the series with the ability to share not just finished games on the console, but also individual assets like maps, characters, skills, items, and more. This means you can make RPGs with your friends, regardless of what platform they're using, from the comfort of your couch. When you open up the software for the first time, there is a quick guide that shows you what the different parts of the menu are. There's Create, where you can make your game. Play, where you can play downloaded games made by others. Maker Plaza is where you can download those games or assets that other people have made. The eShop is where you can purchase custom graphics. And Options is where you can manage your preferences or read a wide variety of tips that will help you when using the software. Before we begin making our game, let's go ahead and go to the Nintendo eShop real quick. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom, there are 3 free DLCs that you can download for your game. We'll be using some of these characters in the game that we make in this series. After that's downloaded, we can go ahead and click Create. Go to Create New Game and type in the title of your game. This game is going to be called The King's Crystal. Our story will follow the protagonist as he gets a quest from the king to acquire a powerful crystal at the end of a dungeon following a boss battle. It will be a short and sweet game, but encompass almost anything you need to know about making a game from start to finish. Let's press OK, and it will begin loading our game. When you make a new game, by default, the first map will just be grass and a single character. See how we're currently on the Maps editor. Pressing Y will bring up the palette, which is all of the tiles currently selected for this map, the world tile set. From this palette, you can choose whatever tiles you want to add to the map. Pressing the left and right bumpers shows you more tiles that you can use. For now, let's turn this grassy plain into an island. Let's click this water tile, and then begin drawing a little outline around our island. Instead of making it this square shape, let's just go ahead and add some more lines to make it a little bit more interesting. That looks good. Now let's look at the bottom controls. Pressing X allows you to navigate through these options. You can select what layer you want to put the tile on, what tool you want to use, you can zoom in and out, and you can undo and redo here. Let's select the Fill tool, and then fill the outside of our island with water. Let's go back to the palette, go to the B tile set, and add a quick little village to our world map. This time you can hold down A to select more than one tile. But before we do that, let's make sure our tool is set back to pencil. And then press A to put down that village. Now let's add a castle. Once again, you can hold down A so we can select all 4 of these tiles for the castle, and then find a place to put that down. Now you can see the previously used tiles in the palette. You can quickly cycle through them by pressing the left bumper. Let's go ahead and add that same village again somewhere else on the map. Pressing the right bumper will now go to the Events editor. Pressing A on the map will bring up all the options for making a new event at that location. You can also use the sub-menu to add an event. Press the ZL trigger to open up the sub-menu. You can add a quick event for movement, doors, treasure, inns, and switches. The sub-menu is also where you can access all the different parts of the engine, such as the database and the map list. You can either navigate to them manually, or if you hold down ZL while you're opening it, you can use the shown shortcuts. Now that we're in the database, let's go ahead and make our main character. You can see that there are already quite a few pre-made characters that you can use. But for this tutorial, let's make someone new. Let's press the plus button to add more options to our actor list. Our game is going to have 2 party members, so I'm going to increase the maximum by 2 so that it's 10. Then I'm going to go to this blank actor. Under name, his name is going to be Kale. Next, we can select the images that he will use. So first, his face. I'm going to go down to DLC character that we purchased earlier, and then choose from one of these very many face graphics. I'm going to pick this face down here. It is a bit important to remember which character you chose. So this is 20male_005, and this is the 5th face on the graphic. So now when we go to walking character, and we go to DLC character, we can go to 20male_005 and then select the 5th character on this sheet. Then for the side view battler graphic, again, DLC character, this time we got to scroll all the way down to male_005 and the 5th graphic. He doesn't have a nickname, so I'm going to skip that. As for his class, we have not yet made a class for him. There are already 8 classes already created. And for this tutorial, he's basically a swordsman, so I'm going to select that for now. Initial level 1 is fine. For max level, I'm actually going to set it to 5. Because this is a very short game, there's really no reason for him to go all the way up to level 99. Then under profile, you guys can go ahead and write anything that you want for this guy. I'm just going to write in our protagonist. The other options under our character are initial equip and traits. The initial equipment depends on what weapons and armors you already have in the game, and luckily With comes with a large variety of items that you can already use. So for our guy, let's give him a basic short sword. You can see that these swords are white while these others are grayed out, and that is due to his current class and what his class allows him to equip. So as a swordsman, the way it's currently set up, he is allowed to equip swords. So let's give him a short sword. He doesn't have a shield. For his helmet, let's find one that's not grayed out. Give him a bandana. That sounds good. Same with body. Let's give him some leather armor. I'm going to leave accessory blank for his initial equipment because that sounds like something he can find later on in a dungeon or something. Traits are where you can add certain unique changes that you want for your character, but I'm going to leave this blank for now. Most of the time you change your traits within the class of the character as opposed to the actual actor, but it of course depends on your game. So we've made our main character. Let's go ahead and go to classes and give him his own class. Here you can see under swordsman, it's got the name, the XP curve, and the parameter curves. And this is how their parameters change as they level up. Under skills, it shows what skill they learn at what level. And then traits is where they add all of those unique options that might make them different from other classes. In this case, they have some default parameters up here with target rate and hit rate, evasion rate, and critical rate. Swordsmen are allowed to use special skill types as opposed to magic, and they are able to equip swords, daggers, general armor, light armor, and shields. Let's add a new class for our main character. First, we'll change the maximum to 10 because our party member will also have a unique class. Go to that empty one and change the name to Sword Fighter. Very unique and interesting. I'm going to keep the XP curve the same, but please feel free to mess around with this if you want to. Under our parameters, what I like to do is just use these quick settings to determine how our character's parameters are going to change as he levels up. So for max HP, I'm going to give him a B. Because he's a sword fighter, he doesn't need as much HP as, say, a tank, but it also shouldn't be too low. Pressing the bumpers lets me go to a different parameter. We've got max MP. I'm going to make that an E because he's not going to be using MP at all. Under attack, I'm going to give him an A. He is very strong with attack. Defense, I'm going to give him a C. Magic attack, an E. Magic defense, let's say a C. Agility is going to be an A. He's going to be very fast. And then luck is what determines how often a state might be successful on an enemy. And for this guy, I'm just going to say C for luck, and then press OK. Next are the learned skills for the class, and we're actually going to be making some unique skills for this character. You can go ahead and go through the existing skills and add whatever you want here. Just keep in mind what type of skill it is and if this class even has access to that skill type. And that is determined under traits. It says add skill type magic, but our sword fighter is not going to use magic. He is going to be using special type. So that means under learned skills, make sure he's only learning special type abilities, such as, for example, perhaps dual attack is special, body slam is special, compared to down here, heal is magic. But again, we're going to be making skills ourselves later. He's going to equip only swords. And general armor sounds okay. Now that we have our class, we can go back to actors, go to Kale, and set his class to sword fighter. Then we can check his initial equipment again. It looks like we lost his body armor because we changed what type of equipment he can wear. Let's give him this leather vest. Now our last step is to put him in our game as the starting party member. Let's go all the way down to System, Starting Party, and then instead of Reynolds, we're gonna go and select Kale. Then press OK. Now if you look closely, you can see that our starting character has changed from Reynolds to Kale. If we press the plus key, we can actually play this. We can play it from the starting position or we can play from title. Let's go ahead and play from the starting position. And here we are. If you press the X key, it'll bring up the menu for the game. If we went down to status for Kale, you'll be able to see the profile that we put in, our protagonist, right at the bottom. And it also shows the initial equipment that we gave him. And that is all for this video. In the next video, we will be making our first area and starting cutscene to kickstart this game and the first quest. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing and liking this video if it helped you. I will see you in the next video. Bye!